We're here, everyone. We made it.
Happy Tuesday.
We're gonna hold on until some people hop on here. So if you hop on, let us know you're here, where you're watching from. We got a couple people on now.
If you're watching, don't be shy. Tell us hello and let us know you're watching.
All right.
Okay.
So I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I think we're live. Like it looks like this is off.
I'm surprised there aren't any comments yet.
That's what I wonder that too.
It's saying you guys are live on my screen, but it says that I'm in stream. I don't know what that means.
Well, usually our viewers are not very shy. Usually we're much more talkative than this, so.
If we are. We have a few viewers the way it looks.
Hang on, everybody, if you're watching, just hang tight for 1 second. Just double checking something.
I don't know. I think we'll just go ahead because it keeps going up.
Okay. They're not talking to us because we're not talking to them.
Somebody say hi. All right, everyone. We have a special guest with us today. Bailey is here, and she is going to talk about our new KONG Equine line.
Yes, and you want to make sure that you get all questions that you have for Bailey in those comments, because at the end of this segment, hey, Debbie.
Hi.
We are going to be giving away this awesome KONG Equine treat kit.
Awesome.
Isn't that cool? And this is just one of the products Bailey's going to be talking with us about today. So with that, Bailey, we are going to turn it over to you. You have the floor.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And thank you, Debbie, for breaking the ice and telling us that we could see you. I love it. So, I'm Bailey. I'm with KONG Equine today. And we all know and love and have seen this shape and this toy before for our dogs and our cats. And we're so excited to now have it for the horses as well, or your llamas or your goats if you're like me and have a little petting zoo in your backyard. So I am so excited to be talking to all of you today about this fun new line, and we'll get started with it. So we definitely stepped it up a little bit on our size factor. So this is 12 inches to put it in perspective for you. So if you can see it next to the dog toy, and this is a large dog toy. So it is pretty dang big. It is made for horses. This is our KONG Equine Hanging Set with the treat ring. So I already showed us this morning about the treat ring, and she did a great Vanna White for me and showed how we have all these different openings for you to be able to put horse treats, carrots, apple slices, pastes, anything that you want to put inside this ring, you can. It has an opening in some of the holes and then also a shelf-like feature here. So if you did wanted to put paste or smaller treats that would fall through those openings, you can set them in that shelf. It does have a little bit of flex and give so that they're able to get their lips over it and get those treats out, but not so much that they're biting this part off or anything that would be dangerous to their teeth by any shape or means. What's neat about this, and the one we already saw from the Valley Vet gals today, it has a rope, so you're able to hang it. I would be hanging myself with that rope, and I'd be catching it in my chair and wheeling all over it, and my cats would be trying to attack it while I talk to you. So I took it off for purposes today, but it does have this carabiner clip. So that's where the rope comes on and off. You can see the rope that it does come with. So if you don't want to have it hanging up for your horses, you can actually take that rope off, and then you could put this toy on the ground. We do always recommend that you introduce any enrichment product to any animal starting on the ground before we hang it up. So that's a nice feature. You can just take that rope off, put it on the ground, let them get used to it, and then you can hang it up. That also gives you the ability to kind of mix it up. One week it could be on the ground, the next week it could be hanging up. So we keep things fun and new and fresh for everybody. The bottom, we wanted to keep with tradition. We're traditional over here. So we have that opening for dogs. This is traditionally known as the peanut butter hole. So we stuff this full of peanut butter, put in the freezer for our dog friends. This would take a lot of peanut butter to fill for a horse. So with our horses, we can stuff this full of hay. I take a really big handful and put it in there so that we have a tuft hanging out of it. So if it's hanging up, they can pull that hay out of the bottom and let it kind of push around and sway for them. If it's on the ground, that gives them an option to pull it out from the ground too. So hay in the bottom. I'm not creative enough to come up with anything else that you could pop in there. Some of my friends at a wildlife rescue give this to their bobcats and they put eggs in it. So if you have bobcats, go ahead and put some hard-boiled eggs in there, but that's all I've got for you to put in the bottom. So whoever's most creative in the comments to put other items in, go for that.
If you have bobcats, you are brave.
Yes, please only have them if you have a permit. So we also have the treat ring, and I think you guys have the KONG Equine Classic without the treat ring over there. Awesome. So that is this without the ring. So if you wanted to get the hanging set so you have variety, you can take this treat ring off and you would have what they're holding up for us in the other screen. So you'd get that out of the hanging set, but you can also get it without the treat ring as well. We can take this ring off, but it does require some elbow strength to get it off of there. It is on here pretty tight so that horses can't get it off too easily. But we do have the ability to deconstruct this one, and you would have the classic as well. All right, I think we have the heavy duty too. Do we have the heavy duty? Awesome. So this is our KONG Equine Heavy Duty. So the green is our classic. That is 5 pounds. The tan is our heavy duty, and that's 8 pounds. So this one was designed for those animals that are a little bit more curious and want to get after things a little bit harder. Where we have our dogs, we have our standard, which is the red, and then we have the black, which is the extreme. Kind of the same for the equine. So the tan is the more heavy duty item. That would be great for any horses that like to chew a little bit more, but it's also great for those of you that might have pigs. I think we had someone on our last call a few months ago that had a pig. Those tend to have a little bit stronger of a bite. So that heavy duty rubber is stronger for those guys. And that would be an appropriate use for that one. All right, I see lots of questions coming in. Should we take a pause break and answer some of those?
Yeah.
That was the first one.
Debbie asked, what is the recommended height to hang?
That's a great question, Debbie. You're on it today. So the rope, I believe, is about 6 feet that comes with this item. So really, it depends on your horse. If you have a draft horse or a miniature horse, it really kind of depends on them and where you're hanging it from. We just recommend that you hang it safe so that they can't get tangled up in that rope or anything like that. So just use your best caution for safety features with that, but it really depends on which animal you're hanging it for.
Vicky thought you might be able to stuff this with watermelon rind. That would be a good idea, I think, too.
All right, Vicky with the creativity today. I like it. Definitely for a pig. If you have pigs, they like watermelon rind for sure.
Okay. Cheryl says that her dogs love the Kong toys and she cannot wait to get one for the horses.
Awesome. They can all have them. I know there's some Danes and some Great Pyrenees that really like the KONG Classic, the one without the treat ring that you guys were holding up for me. So definitely for horses, but it can be for your larger dogs too that like something a little bit larger.
Yeah. What are your favorite treats to put in the treat rings?
Yeah, so I am old school. I really just like to put carrots in there. I show quarter horses and paint, so I'm not a giant treat person because I really like showmanship, so I don't give anything out of my hands, but I will give them an occasional carrot in their Kong toy. So I'm not a total mean mom.
Kelsey asked, what is the best way to wash them?
Yeah, so we're going to stick with the traditional stuff here, soap and water. Gets it really clean. Anything that's safe for animals. There's some like veterinarian house cleaners that people like to use, but I just use Dawn dish soap and water and it comes pretty dang clean for me, and a scrub brush if it's been out there for a little while. It is, I will mention with the cleaning process, the dog toy is super easy to pop in the dishwasher. This is too big to stick in the dishwasher. I tried it. It does not work out well. So please don't put it in your dishwasher.
She's speaking from experience. All right. Nana wants to know if this is okay to use in the wintertime.
Yeah, it really depends on where you're located. I'm a Floridian, so I'm not the best one to speak on that, but I do know we had some product testers that used it in the Northeast, like Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and it was out in the snow and just fine. It is an all-natural rubber. It is a new blend for us. It's a Zoo Tooth rubber, but it does not crack or anything in cold or hot weather, so it's pretty durable with that. Obviously, if we let it sit in one place in direct sun or in harsh winter conditions, I can't speak for that, but it did prove to survive the past few winters for our product testers.
Okay.
But the Floridian probably shouldn't answer that question. It got 30 degrees and I was dying over here.
I think it was about -30 here at one time. So
-25.
Pretty close.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
My blood has thinned for sure.
Well, we don't have a ton of questions right now. Can you tell us, Bailey, like what are some of the most asked questions that you get about these?
Yeah, so I think the biggest asked question that we get is why would we want to use this? Horse toys aren't the most common thing that we want to give them like dogs. We don't give our horses toys like we do our dogs most commonly, but speaking from personal experience, again, one of the biggest uses for this toy is for horses that are going to be on stall rest. Whether that be an injury or what have you. I have a 4-year-old gelding that has been on stall rest since August, and he's a gelding, and he's now 4 but was 3, so he would get very bored very easily. So this was a great distraction for him, or as we say, boredom buster for them. So this is great to kind of keep that mental stimulation while they're on stall rest, while they're going through rehab for any type of injury. That's a great option for them. Or if you have a horse that maybe lost its buddy or is alone and want to give them something to help stimulate them mentally, this would be a great option to introduce them to as well. Or like I said, I show a lot. So my show horses sometimes go for several months at a time, going from show to show and traveling around the country. So this is a great thing to give them while they're stalled in box stalls at a show or even tied to a trailer. This is something that we can introduce to them and kind of break up that monotony when they're not getting pasture turnout. I saw you chuckling. Did we have a funny question pop up?
Rhonda says, what happens if my horse is one that throws his toys at other horses? She has one that flips his toys in the air. Will it be safer than some of the other options out there?
Yes, so I have one of those too, Rhonda. So this is an all-natural rubber. If you're familiar with our dog toys, that same rubber, it's a different blend. So this is 5 pounds. So there's some weight to it, but it's not a hard plastic or metal or anything like that. So it is safe. It's going to bounce. My goats pick this up and throw it at each other all the time. They're probably doing that right now out my window. So it's something that would be safe. They got hit by it, wouldn't be that hard for them. It's also not something that's going to break glass if you have a mirror in your arena that they're tossing it up at, or break anything in their enclosures. So it would be safe, but it does have some weight, so we don't want them just hurtling it at each other. So we definitely want to observe when they're playing with it when we first introduce it. But it is a softer rubber, so we shouldn't have any type of injuries that way.
Vicky had mentioned that she cleans her dog's Kongs with a bottle brush.
Very good. Yeah, that would be a great option for this as well. Perfect. Might have to get a little bit bigger of a bottle brush for this one.
Yeah.
Have your work cut out for you there.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
Does anybody have any other questions out there?
We talked about these being great for those horses that are on stall rest or might not have a buddy anymore. It's also a great option for foals that are just being weaned. I feel like I am saying I have one of these for every situation, but I have a weanling that he did really good being weaned, but this was a great option to throw out with him to be able to play with it, toss it around, and give those little guys just something else to do and to focus on instead of being separated from mom. I think not to be harsh to any of the moms out there, but when we take baby away from mom and they have this fun thing, they can focus on this and they forget that mom ever even existed. So that helps that weaning process go a lot easier too. This hole, it's hard to kind of demonstrate your size with it, but it does have give. Some of those foals will stick their little noses in there and try to sniff around. It does have enough give that it'll go back, but we always say kind of introduce this with caution and observe them for definitely the first few interactions that you give it. But it is safe for your weanlings, your yearlings, anything like that.
Is there any toxic in the rubber part?
This is an all natural virgin rubber. So no toxins or any additives to this rubber at all.
Cool. Courtney had asked when this product was started. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this has been in the works for almost 2 years now, but it was just introduced to the market last fall. So it's really just starting to kind of get its momentum and get out into our awesome retailers and vendors like Valley Vet. So this is kind of the first that it's being seen and getting out into the open. So I think mid-September was when we officially launched this product. But my horses and llama and goats really enjoyed the product testing it for all of you. So it's not brand new in the sense that it hasn't gone through lots of R&D first.
I'm testing.
Who was it? Somebody. Ben said it would be cool to have a cow Kong. Do you think the tough would be able? He could be able to use it.
Yeah, so I actually have a lot of show cows that love to use this. Those show cows, just like our show horses, are on a trailer hauling around to jackpots in different shows. So this is great to kind of give them, put some treats in there, hay for them as well, so they can kind of have that mental stimulation. But just because it's called KONG Equine doesn't mean that a cow can't have it. I've said several times now, my goats and llamas. So we might have that equine logo up there, but we can definitely be creative with what other livestock can use it as well. And you had held up the heavy duty. That would be a great option for your cows too. I know there's some people that get this for their horses and then they take the treat ring off and pass it back and forth between that heavy duty and this one. So you can kind of mix and match with that. So your cows can have some use. But I do have a lot of cows that are just fine with this green blend of rubber. So they tend to be pretty kind to their toys as well.
Kathleen was wondering if apples would fit in them. And I would think so. Mm-hmm. It's a fairly good size opening. Smaller apple for sure.
For sure. I personally like to cut those apples up and stick them. You can really kind of wedge them into these openings so it's tight, and they really have to interact and they have to play with it so they can get after it. We don't want to make it too easy that it's not fun. A lot of horses and other livestock really kind of like that challenge, and we want to be able to present that to them so that they continue to interact and continue to get that mental stimulation. That's the objective of this toy.
Very good. And if you weren't on when we first started, we just got these in stock. So we have the hanging toy, which we will be giving away today to one of our lucky commenters. And then we have the classic. And we also have the heavy duty. Sorry, I didn't mean to shut it out of the way there. Then we have the heavy duty as well. We just got those in. So make sure you go check them out on our website.
Awesome. And the heavy duty, the biggest difference between that and the classic, other than the color, obviously, is the weight and the thickness of that rubber. So the heavy duty is thicker, so it is more heavy duty and durable for those animals with a stronger bite, but it does weigh about 3-4 pounds heavier than the green classic. So for that person that commented about a horse that really likes to toss it around and maybe chuck it at his brother, maybe we'll start out with the green one for them. The heavy duty does have a little bit more weight to it. My dog really wanted to make her voice heard on this phone.
Yes. A surprise guest. That's all right. Speaking of dogs, we also have several Kongs for dogs as well on our website. So while you're on there checking out the Equine Kong, make sure you check out our line of those too. Mm-hmm. Very good.
We have them for the whole family now.
Yes. All right. Any other questions? Make sure you get your questions in.
I see someone commenting on there about the hanging. So and for those that have just jumped in, so we love that we can hang it up and kind of have that so that they can have something a little bit more challenging to get after. We don't really want to hang it in the corner of a stall where they can pin it and then get treats out more easily. In the center where there's nothing to kind of pin that against and they can engage a little bit more. We like to have that challenge, but we always want to introduce these products on the ground first so that they can get used to it, smell it, poke it around with their head, and then after they're familiar with the item, we can hang it up. So we don't want to just have them out in the pasture, hang it in the center of the stall and throw them in the stall with it. We really want to kind of have a slow, nice introduction to a new toy for them. I would be scared walking in a stall with something hanging from the ceiling that I've never seen before. So tend to feel that for my horses as well.
All right, Bailey, did you have anything else to add before we draw a winner today?
I think we covered a lot pretty quickly on this, but I'm sure we'll have more questions pop up afterwards. But I think that's about it for me. Yeah, we went over the 3 and kind of the uses for it, but we'd love to see the creative ways that other people would want to use it aside from stall rest and weaning and trailering. Yeah, I guess the coolest, we'll have to come back and see the neatest animal that we put it with. I know we heard about the cows and the pigs from last time, so I'm interested to see what other animals that your customers will want to introduce this to.
Very good. All right.
We are going to draw the winner, and they're going to get one of the treat Kongs. So the winner is going to be Cheryl Coupland Cruz.
Woo! Cheryl.
Congratulations, Cheryl.
Couple announcements before we get off. Bailey, we want to thank you so
Yes.
much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Gotta get out of here.
I love the confetti.
Thank you so much for joining us. This has been great.
Don't forget, tomorrow we are drawing winners for the Lucky 7 sweepstakes. We are going to have 7 winners for this, and we have a little treat for you, so you don't want to miss that.
it.
And then also on Thursday, we will be live with Andis to talk about everything Clippers. So you won't want to miss that either.
Both at 3 o'clock.
And we have
Central time.
a busy week, so make sure
Yeah.
you tune in for all of those. We'll see y'all later.
All right.
Bye,
Thank
baby.
you. Bye.
Thank you.